Welcome to King Lizard's Game Lounge and Forza Motorsport 6 racing action from the Lamborghini Super Trofeo League in 2016. This is some racing footage that I've been holding back for a rainy day, and I figured it's about time I get it up on the channel. 5 PvP or multiplayer races back to back, all no assists and all with full simulation damage. This was an extremely tough series of races, and I hope you enjoy it. The liveries I'm using on my Lamborghinis here are actually liveries I acquired during the course of this Super Trofeo Lamborghini League series. So you were only able to actually get these liveries during these events. They also did a number of liveries, bronze, silver and gold variants every week for rivals. So I've also got some of those in my collection as well. I think I've got about 10 or 11 of these different liveries. Although the majority of them do look similar, they just have, like I said, a bronze, silver or a gold emblem to indicate your positioning in rivals. Now at this point I've managed to get in the first place, and you see that kind of swerve there into the barrier. That's me being hit up the rear by the current second place vehicle. So contact number 2 happens right here. Guy basically rams me up the rear, forces me wide, and at this point I could have put my foot down and just pushed it as hard as I could, but if I did that it was probably going to result in a clash of cars. Both of us might have spun out and neither of us would have got a placing, and I'd worked too hard to do that. So I decided to back off for a split second and then get straight up the back end of this guy again. Unfortunately I lost control in this S-bend section, which allowed him to get quite a considerable gap on me. This 2014 number 14 GMG Racing LP570-4 Super Trofeo Lamborghini was a real handful to drive. Extremely tough racing this, and especially given the fact that the competition in this league series was just so tough. You know, driving this thing in general was hard work, but driving it at max speed all of the time was pretty brutal. And obviously, you know, me losing this race happened on those S-bends there. Basically, I lost control after kind of being, you know, pushed out of first place on a couple of occasions by the current first place car. But, you know, the loss on those S-bends was, you know, my own doing, where I was just pushing that car a little bit too much, and that resulted in me obviously losing first place and coming in second. But a really good race nevertheless, and I thoroughly enjoyed this. The replay doesn't catch the next event very clearly, but basically first and second place collide in this tunnel, which leaves me in first place on the exit. I hit this section far too fast and land up wide on the next exit. That causes me to bounce off the barrier and straight into the tyre wall. I then frantically struggle unsuccessfully to get the car into reverse, for which time I'm in fourth place. However, we're only halfway through the race yet, plenty of the race to go. Flat out here through this section. Now what you don't see here is the red car smashing me up the rear on that corner. He basically rammed me full on, which is why I went into the tyre barrier. Fortunately for me, I was able to get back out into second place, where I'd earned the position at that point from coming all the way back from fourth due to my own error on that crash earlier. But at this point I do have suspension damage, and I've also got handling damage as well. Now what you can't see here is my car basically bouncing up and down like an old bed. The suspension is that far gone that I'm really driving on a knife edge here. The third place guy here gets it really wrong, chucks it round the corner, and I think he tried to handbrake it there, which flew him wide into the corner and obviously put him into a spin. I managed to secure the second place that I fought for really hard, but first place definitely would have been mine on this event had I not had that accident. That said, still a really good race and had really good fun playing this. Now as you can see, I've already been hit up the rear twice in this race. What you don't see on the replay is me being smashed on this next straight. As I come down this next straight into this corner, the black car behind has just hit me right up the backside and thrown me off the track. And that has obviously put me into quite a serious loss of positions, from going into first place down into seventh at this point. So we're maxing this section out. The car behind us hit the grass, which has made him lose control, and to be honest, I was looking in the rear view mirror wondering if that thing was going to be taking me out. That put me off on the corner. I wasn't paying attention of slowing down enough for the corner that was coming up, and it is a really tight corner, that one. So that obviously cost me a few more places. Someone else losing control there behind as well. Really tough vehicles to drive this, so just because people are losing control doesn't make them noobs or idiots. It's just a very difficult car to handle this, and when you're being pushed to your limits by the other drivers in the race, it is very easy to make mistakes and over accelerate when you shouldn't, and that can cause this car very easily to lose control. I come out of this corner a little bit too fast, putting me wide. If I tried to steer it in, I would have lost control, so I had to kind of go with the flow and go with the corner. At this point, obviously, I'm in third place, pushing really hard to try and reel in second and first. So me in fourth place are hitting this quite hard, but the fourth place driver tries something quite unorthodox there, tries to kind of push me off the track. Fortunately, I'm able to maintain control and actually get out a little bit more in front than I was from him, so he didn't do himself any favours there. Really pushed this car to the max on the fourth circuit, but this time obviously I'd gotten used to the car and its handling at Sebring, and I was able to actually pull in the best lap out of all the races, which meant obviously I was secured for a pole position start on the next grid of the next race event. And obviously I also began this race in first place position due to a similar effort on the previous race. I'd actually gotten the best lap time as well. So not a bad race this, a little bit dirty at times, but still quite enjoyable. And as we exit the tunnel, we're all flat out here, but you need to slow down for this corner. It is brutally tight, and that car there gets it wrong and causes a mass pile-up, blocking the rest of the race. The Lamborghini Super Trofeo League Series lasted for 6 weeks. Unfortunately, I only got to race in 5 weeks, and that was because at the end of week 5 I got banned from the game. And there wasn't any reason for me being banned. It was never explained to be or proved to me by Turn 10 Studios. Even after multiple emails and complaints and Twitters to various celebrities of the Xbox world, I received no support from anyone, and as a result, my 5 weeks of hard work in this Lamborghini Super Trofeo series came to a rather abrupt and unfair end, in my opinion. There is actually a video on my channel you can see, Forza Motorsport 6 banned. It gives you a little bit more detail about that, but unfortunately I didn't get to complete the series, so I don't have all the liveries and stuff from that series, and that was pretty much the last time that I raced in Forza 6 PvP. At this point I've driven my guts out to get into this 4th position, and I've made really good ground on the top 3 vehicles at the front of the race. And as I come around this bend, a couple of them have an incident which actually gets me involved as well and causes some damage to my vehicle. At this point I've got suspension damage, plus that slowed me down quite a lot, but I'm now in 2nd place because 3rd and 2nd place just took each other out. So as we hit the big descent on this section, the black car clips the barrier, crashes into the opposite side. I can't stop in time and hit him. The car behind me can't stop in time and hits me into the 1st place car, leaving me in 3rd. The guy obviously who was in 3rd place is now in 1st place, and then the original 1st place driver is in 2nd. So at this point you can actually see the impact that these accidents have had on the vehicles, because you'll see on the next section as we're coming up towards the camera about now-ish, you can see the car's just bouncing all over the place. Our suspensions are shot, our steering's got a problem. All three of us are in quite dire straits at this point, but it pretty much is a third place for me at the end of this race now. Not going to get any better than that. Fortunately, the car behind also has lots of damage from previously crashing out as well, so he wasn't able to catch me up. So as I hit the descent, I'm going round here too fast. I've caught the curbing as well, which has put me into a slide, and that has given my opponent in second place a perfect chance to overtake me on the corner on the outside. Really good overtaking manoeuvre there from my competitor, getting himself into first place. I then screw up the next corner because I'm too busy thinking about catching first place up, and hence don't do myself any favours. So there's another player fighting hard for second place here, so I push it out. He pushes it a little bit too wide, straight into the tyre wall and straight into the opposing side of the track. Nasty accident there. So I was actually making some really good progression on first place here, getting closer to them, and then disaster struck. I zoned out for a few seconds, and just as I hit that rumble strip I kind of snapped out of it and then got myself back on the track. That's basically my tiredness kicking in on this race and nearly costing me the race. Fortunately I was able to recover really quickly and get back on the track, but not without obviously losing a lot of that advantage I had on the back of the pack. I approached this section really fast, and as a result I was a little bit too fast for the car to be comfortable, nearly spanned the car out there, managed to just recover at the last moment, but everyone is breathing down my neck at this point. Second place still, but only just. At this point I'm in real danger of losing second place. This guy in third place actually does a really nice overtake here, nice and clean inside line right underneath me, and then I kind of get put off because I'm internal when I'm driving these races. I didn't kind of see him until the last minute and moved over because I thought I was going to hit him, which is why I landed up on the grass. But really nice manoeuvre there from my racing compadre. And then basically that left me in third place, and all I had to do was hit the finish line at this point, which was pretty much a given. Well, I hope you enjoyed this series of races from the 2016 Lamborghini Super Trofeo series and Forza Motorsport 6. I'll be back soon with plenty more gaming action. Please remember to click that like button, subscribe. Take care, keep well, keep watching, and most importantly, come back soon.